Good afternoon everyone. I am Dheeraj Singh Pundir. So we are group number 8. We have total 10 members in our group. So we have taken total 4 topic for our AWP internal presentation. So our first topic is delegate and it will be explained by me and Kiran Shelar. And second topic is exception handling and that will be explained by Vaishnav Bhagde, Neeraj Bhaskar and Satyajit Kori. And the third topic is list control and that will be explained by Ritik Lokhande and Afraz Sheikh. And the last topic is rich control, which will be explained by Sharan Hatti, Sharvil Jadhav, and Suraj Shukla. The basic of delegates and how to create delegates will be explained by Kiran.
So hello everyone, my name is Kiran Shelar and today I am going to explain about the basic of delegates. So as we have learned about the structure, classes and interface, we know that the structure are values type whereas classes and interface are reference type. Similarly, delegates are also reference type. A delegate is a type of safe function pointer. It means a delegate points to a function and then when we invoke this delegate, the function will be invoked. The signature of the delegate should match the signature of the function to which it points to. If the signature of the method doesn't match then we get a compile error. So that's why we delegate is called type-safe function pointer. To create a structure, we use the struct keyword. To create a class, we use the class keyword. Similarly, if we want to create a delegate, we use the delegate keyword. We can think a method with a delegate keyword. So first, it will have access modifier followed by delegate keyword, then return type and delegate name, and we have to pass the parameter. So now I will move to the code. So uh, uh, so using system, it is useful to use class and function like console class and frightline method. So here I have created a simple function which is ty student. Public, it is a return type. We have, and static we have declared as a static. It is creates a single copy of a variable, then do not require an object. For access and ty student function, it takes a message of a string type str message. Inside the function we have written console.writeline str message, so it prints the message. So now we are creating a delegate. For creating delegate, we have to use delegate keyword, and delegate also has access modifier and return time. So group 8 delegate, it is the name of the delegate. It is a user defined. You can give whatever you want. Delegate also has a name parameter, method, string message. For pointing to the function, you have to create the object of delegate. Inside the main method, we created an object for a delegate, which is del. And in the object, we have pass a string, which is hey. We are going to explain the basic of delegate. So this delegate point to the ty student function, and this string will print. So I hope you have understood clear whatever I said about the delegates. So now further part will explain by Dheeraj.
In the previous slides, Kiran explained the basics of delegates and the basic index how to create a delegate and make it point to a function, and then by invoking the delegates, it will automatically invoke the function it is pointing to. First, we will go to the two different approaches and its example, and then I will go to the definition of multicasting delegate. So first approach is plus or minus to register and unregister a method with the delegate. So first we will create a delegate. So the syntax of delegate is access modifier, then delegates keyword, then return type, then delegate name as group paid delegate, and this delegate doesn't take any parameter. And we know that this delegate is pointing to a function, that functions need to have the same signature as this delegate. So we are creating three functions, name as student1 method, student2 method, student3 method. Then we will create an instance of the delegates name as del1, del2, del3, del4. And to the constructor, we are passing the name of the function to which we want our delegate to be pointing. So delegate 1 will point to student1 method, delegate 2 will point to student2 method, and delegate 3 will point to student3 method. We will make 3 delegate 4 is equals to delegate 1, 2 and 3, and when we add all these delegate using plus sign and assign it to delegate 4, means delegate 4 is pointing to all the delegates, and also we can remove the references using minus sign. So del 4 is multicast delegate, and now we can go to the definition. So basically a delegate pointing to more than one function is called multicasting delegate, and now we can go at the second example. So there is another way to actually create a multicast delegate. We don't have to actually create so many instances. We will create one delegate instances and point it to all the student method. So we will use plus is equals to with the same delegate instances to all the student method to register, and minus is equals to unregister the method. So the output will be I am Kiran, I am Dheeraj, and I am going to explain the multicast delegate. And I am Vaishnav, and I am going to explain the exception handling. So the further topic is exception handling, and it will be explained by Vaishnav Bhagde.
Hello everyone. Now we are going to see exception handling in C Sharp. In that, we will see first introduction to exception handling, types of exception handling, and custom exception handling. So, introduction to exception handling. Exception handling in C Sharp is process to handle runtime errors. In C Sharp, the catch keyword indicates the catching of an exception, and final block is used to execute a given set of statement, whether an exception is thrown or not thrown. So, the keywords of exception handling in C Sharp try, catch, and final block. Exception handling could be done with below three keywords. The try block defines the type of exception to be handled. Catch block is used to recover from error generated in try block. The final block has some set of statement regardless of the exception is thrown. So after that, this is syntax of try, catch, and final block. In try block, we define the statement that could be cause an exception. And in catch box, there will be error handling code. And in final block, we will define the statement that will be executed. So how does exception handling work in C Sharp? The try block covers the part of code which might throw an exception, and catch confirm what to do when an exception is caught. So after that, we will have first example. So this is an example of try and catch block. In this code, in main method, there is a try and catch block, and that we declare integer a and b. So we give a as a 10 and b as a 0, and x is a divided by b. So it will give error as a system divide by 0 exception. Since 10 is not divided by 0, so this error will be catch by catch box and print rest of the code as shown in the output. Then this is an second example for use of exception classes in finally. In this example, we use final block. Here in main method, we declare int as a 5, y as a 0, and x is divided by z is a x divided by y. So as the previous one, 5 is not divided by 0 will give system divided by 0 exception, and which will be handled by try, catch, and final block here. So the further part will be explained by Neeraj.
Yeah, hello everyone. In the previous slide, Vaishnav explained what is an exception handling. Now I am going to explain types of exceptions in C#. So there are various exceptions are, but it is not possible to cover all that. So I will explain few exceptions, which is index out of range exception, null reference exception, and overflow exceptions. So let's start with index out of range exception. This exception is thrown when an invalid index is used to access a member of an array or a collection. In the example code, you can see we are declaring an array as an integer data type, and the size of an array is 10. Array 10 will give exception because the variable will store at the 11th position. In the next slide, you can see if it will give an error of index out of range exception. Now let's see about null reference exception. This exception is thrown when we are trying to access a field on the null variable. In the example code, the string variable is defined and it is referenced to null. This means the reference is null and you cannot access the access member through a null reference. In the next slide, you can see this will throw an null reference exception at the second line because you can't call the instant method on a string referencing to the reference point to the null. Now let's see how the overflow exception occurred. This exception thrown when the parameter value is out of the integer range. Basically, the result of an operation is outside the bound of the target data type. In the example code, we have taken a large number of string data type, which leads to overflow exception. In the next slide, you can see the error has occurred of overflow exception. Now the custom exception will explain Satya.
Hello, my name is Satya and I will be explaining about custom exception. So in C#, we have tons of exception in the library, but still we need custom exception because it adds clear, meaningful and user-friendly information to exception when error occur while your program is running. The base class for all exception in .NET is exception. Exception is nothing but a class. It is derived from system.exception class by direct manner or indirect manner. Application exception class or exception class is used to create custom exception that can be thrown. Creation of custom exception is used only if these exception can be caught and can be handled in different manner. The error occur for an application and logs of error that can be monitored by using an error monitor tool if we create an custom exception. So here we have an example for an custom exception. Here we have given a try catch block in which we have created our own custom exception by name as weather is cold exception. Here we have defined the exception as we know that it is a class, and here we have given a message that if the exception is caught, it will throw the temperature is to be 0 and hence the weather is cold. So as an output we get the weather is cold exception, the temperature is found to be 0 and hence the weather is cold. Thank you. The next topic, control list, will be continued by Afraz and Ritik. Thanks a lot.
Hello everyone, my name is Ritik and I am going to explain about list control. So there are several types of list control. So let's see first what is meant by drop-down list. The drop-down list is a web server control which is used to create an HTML select component. So basically it allows the user to select single values from a multiple values out of a given list, and it can contain any number of items. ASP.NET provides a tag to create drop-down list for web application. Now let's see what is the use of drop-down list. A drop-down list, also known as drop-down menu, is a graphical control element similar to a list box that allows the user to choose one value from a list. When a drop-down list is inactive, it displays a single value. When activated, it displays drop-down a list of values from which the user may select one. When the user selects a new value, the control reverts to its inactive state, displaying the selected value. It is often used in the design of graphical user interfaces, including web design. Now let's see what is list box. List box control is used to show multiple elements in a list. From this, the user can select one or more items, and the items are generally displayed in multiple columns. List box class is used to represent the Windows list and also provide different types of properties, methods, and events. It is defined under system.windows.form namespace. The list box allows user to select single or multiple values out of a given list. Now let's see what is the use of list box. A list box is a graphical control element that allows the user to select one or more items from a list contained within static by multiple line text. There are two types of list boxes: single selection and multiple selection. In single selection list box, the user can select only one item at a time. In multiple selection list box, the user can select more than one item at a time. List box can be represented by text string, bitmaps, or both. If the list box is not large enough to display all the list box items, the list box provides a scroll bar so the user can scroll down and choose the necessary option. The user scrolls to the list box item, then applies or removes selection status as necessary. And further part will be explained by Afraz.
Hello everyone, my name is Afraz and I'll be explaining about the radio button list in our presentation. So what is a radio button list? Radio button list control is same as drop down list, but it displays a list of radio buttons that can be arranged either horizontally or vertically. You can select only one item from the given radio button list of options. These options are mutually exclusive. So basically a radio button list is when numerous options are given, and out of all of them you can select only one of them, and the options can be either in horizontal or vertical format. What is the use of a radio button list? So ASP.radio button is used to allow user to select any one of the options among multiple. For example, allowing user to select gender, either male or female, and you can call server-side C# code when the user select the radio button. So as you can see in the example, the user has to select between male or female, any one of them, and not both of them, or not even like none of them. You have to select at least one to submit and move on. Next, I'll be explaining about the checkbox list. So what is a checkbox list? Checkbox list is a web control that can be used to collate the items that can be checked, thus giving the user the ability to select multiple items simultaneously. This list of items in the checkbox list can be dynamically generated using the data binding functions. So basically in a checkbox list, no matter how the format of the options is vertical or horizontal, you can select more than one options and you can move forward with it. But there's no compulsion that you have to select only one. There can be more than one correct option. What is the use of a checkbox? The checkbox control allows the user to set true or false, yes or no type options. The user can select or deselect it. When a checkbox is selected, it has the value true, and when it is cleared, it holds the value false. So basically you cannot submit it without clicking on any, like none of the options, because that will give the value as false, and you have to select at least one so that you can get the true value. So that's it from my presentation. The next part of the presentation will be explained by Sharan. Thank you.
So hello everyone, our topic name is rich control. In that there are three main topics like file upload control, second is calendar control, and third is add rotator control. So file upload control will be explained by me, second calendar control will be explained by Jadhav, and the third add rotator control will be explained by Shukla. So here is some introduction on file upload control. ASP.NET provides large set of controls. These controls are divided into different categories depends upon their functionalities. The following control comes under the rich controls category. File upload control. File upload control is used to browse and upload files. After the file is uploaded, you can store the file on any drive or database. File upload control is the combination of a browse button and a text box for entering the file name. The file upload controls supports the following important properties like file bytes. It returns the contents of uploaded file as a byte array. Second, file content. You can get the uploaded file contents as a stream. Third, a file name provides the name of uploaded file. Has file, it is a boolean property that checks whether a particular file is available or not. And last but not least, posted file gets the uploaded file wrapped in the HTTP posted file object. So here is some example, here is some code, and here is the output of the file upload. So uploading large files, you can upload files up to 4 MB using file upload control. If you want to upload the files larger than 4 MB, then you cannot do with default settings. If you want to upload a file more than 4 megabytes of data, you need to change these settings. You need to configure the HTTP runtime maximum request length and HTTP runtime request length disk threshold setting. This number is in KB. So here are some lines and examples. The above web configuration file can be uploaded up to 10 MB file data. So here is the final output of file upload control. So the next topic will be explained by Jadhav.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharvil and my topic is rich control and that subtopic is calendar control. First is introduction. The calendar control is functionally rich web control which provides the following capabilities: displaying 1 month at a time, selecting a date, a week or a month, or selecting a range of days. Calendar control provides you lots of properties and events. By using these properties and events, you can perform the following tasks with calendar control. The next slide is what is the use of calendar control. Calendar control is used to display a single month of a calendar on a web page. The control allows you to select dates and move to the next of the previous month and year. The calendar control supports all the system globalization calendar types in the system and globalization namespace. The next slide is tells the calendar control supports 3 important events. First event is selection change. The event is fired when you select a date, a week or an entire month. The next event is day render. This event is fired when each data cell of the calendar control is rendered. The last event is visible month change. It is raised when user change a month. The last slide is an example in which when you select a date, selection change event will fire display the date in label control. In this example, the date format is month, day and year. The further part will be explained by Suraj.
So my name is Shukla, and my topic in the rich control, my topic is add rotator control. So in the what is add rotator control? In the ASP.NET add rotator control, the add rotator is one of the rich web server control of ASP.NET. Add rotator control is used to display the sequence of images, advertising images as per the given priority of images. When you open the external XML file, in an XML file we indicate the images to display some of the other attributes like image impression, navigate URL, image URL, alternate text. So this is the add rotator control syntax, simple syntax as you see in the image. And in the next slide we've discussed about the different steps to create our project in Visual Studio Code. So step 1 was open the Visual Studio Code, create a new empty web application website, and then second step was to create the new web page for display the add rotator control, and drag and drop the add rotator control to web page for the toolbox. Then right click on the Solution Explorer to add new item, and then write the code in XML file. This is also a small example as you see in the image of the add rotator control. The add rotator control is used to display the different advertises images randomly when you refresh the page. So this is also an example of advertisement file, and below there is a code, small code for the ad, and this is the output. As you see, this is the output, proper output, and then this is the code, this is the full code of the XML file, and this is the proper output. If you refresh the page, the different image ad will be shown as you given in the XML file. So thank you, this is my project, and